Gyro thinks about his situation where an unpopular guy like him has been assigned to mandatory couples training to Akari, a popular but outspoken girl in his class. They continue their charade of acting like a couple only for the purposes of points. In class, he becomes happy to discover that he has class duties with his crush Shiori and will be spending time with her, not knowing that the situation was orchestrated by Shiori and her best friend Mei to help get Gyro to notice Shiori. Meanwhile, Akari is gossiping with her friends, and they mention that over 10 couples have gone from couples training into becoming real couples over the past few weeks. They tease her for getting closer to Gyro, or Virgin Kun as they call him. She tries to deny anything is happening and that she still has a crush on the popular Minami. Gyro and Shiori spend the afternoon and evening performing class duties, and Gyro desperately tries but fails to come up with a good conversation with her. Shiori tries to talk about their childhood history, and Akari accidentally sees them together cleaning up the classroom. Suddenly, Shiori asks him to bend down and Gyro starts to go for a kiss, only for Shiori to wipe away some chalk dust from his face. Shiori actually was going for a kiss, but she was too scared and backed out. That night, Gyro is reminded about his failed confession to Shiori in middle school, and Akari joins him with some warm drinks. They remark how beautiful the stars are looking, and how lovely it would be to see the same stars with their respective crushes. Akari suddenly asks Gyro to call her by her first name, but Gyro is too embarrassed because it would imply a certain closeness between them. Akari lets it go but states that she really likes her name, which means light, and that hearing it from him would be comforting. Gyro tentatively calls her by her first name and says that an exciting name like hers suits Akari well, even as Gyro's name is rather boring. Akari finds herself embarrassed to be called by her first name, and she almost seems to confess to him. Horrified, she runs away to her room feeling confused about her feelings. The next day, their teacher announces that grades are falling, so the couples will have their test scores combined and will take supplementary classes together. Akari is unconcerned, but Gyro is horrified because his scores are always terrible. He is concerned that Akari is going to kill him because he is absolutely a below-average student. Gyro asks Akari if there are any subjects she has trouble with, but Akari dodges the question because she wants to go for karaoke with her friends. But Gyro insists that they need to study when he senses she is also not a great student. When they arrive back at home, Gyro discovers that Akari picks up subjects quickly, but she fundamentally hates studying. She tries to bribe her way out of studying, but Gyro stays strong and demands that they keep studying. Over time, Akari does get better at her subjects, and after several hours they make good progress. Gyro keeps praising her because he senses that she only improves when praised, and Akari thanks him for helping her concentrate. She teases him again to try to get a reaction out of him, but Gyro turns the tables and they start to have a moment until Gyro's nose starts to bleed. After they separate, Gyro thanks his nose for saving him from a dangerous situation. Akari wonders why Gyro is helping her study, and Gyro feels that he needs to put more effort into their relationship because Akari is trying hard to earn them points. Akari thinks about when they'll have enough points to change partners, and she finds herself feeling sad. The next morning, Gyro notices that while they are preparing for school and eating breakfast, Akari is calling him by his last name. He notices that she seems to be in a good mood and hasn't acted differently, but wonders what her calling him differently means. He seeks help from Google and Sadaharu tries to give him some advice. Sadaharu accidentally reveals his poor relationship with his own partner, and he complains how women are not direct at all. They accidentally run into Shiori and Mei, where they observe the two practicing confessing. Gyro struggles after school and wonders if Akari's change in behavior is because he still doesn't call her by her first name. At home, she reveals that their ranking has suddenly increased after all their effort. And after his shower, when Gyro tries calling Akari by her first name, she suddenly becomes embarrassed. Gyro keeps saying her first name, sensing that it is what she wanted. And Akari finally admits that she wants Gyro to call her by her first name. Meanwhile, Mei has noticed the rankings change, and warns Shiori that she needs to make a move on Gyro or risk losing him to Akari. Shiori has an accident, and Mei tells Gyro to see her at the nurse's office, but she also wonders why Shiori is interested in a coward like him. Gyro brings snacks to Shiori to help her recover, but he notices that Minami had come earlier and gave her the same snacks. She asks how couples training with Akari is going, and wonders if they have gone further in their training. Shiori is worried that everyone around her is maturing fast and she still feels like a child. She suddenly asks if Gyro could help her practice kissing, and Gyro asks if perhaps she would like to practice with someone more experienced, but Shiori insists that she would like to practice with him. They start to kiss, but Shiori backs out again. Suddenly, Sachai enters the nurse's office, and her sudden arrival causes Gyro and Shiori to accidentally kiss. The two are incredibly embarrassed to share the unintended kiss, and Gyro quickly retreats. At the same time, Akari is worried about Gyro because he isn't responding, and her friend Sachai tells her that she left the nurse's office because students were there doing indecent activity. Akari becomes sad when she gets a text from Gyro saying he was at the nurse's office. Akari skips studying with Gyro to sit alone in a cafe, and her depressed state causes the workers to give her free drinks to cheer her up. When she returns home, she wonders if Gyro and Shiori have become a real couple, and if Gyro won't be close to her anymore. But when she arrives into the apartment, she sees Gyro passed out on the couch. Exasperated, she makes a bed for Gyro and realizes that he was waiting for her to come back until very late. A tired Akari decides to sleep on the couch with Gyro. The next morning, Gyro is shocked to see her undressed and sleeping with him, and though a little embarrassed, Akari starts to tease him about the night before. He has no memory of anything happening the night before and starts to apologize for taking advantage of her, but Akari admits that she was just joking. Gyro doesn't appreciate the gaslighting and is also disappointed he is still a virgin, but a distraught Akari scolds him for not thinking about Shiori. And this is all for this video. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.